The following podcast is brought to you by Mark Who 42 Books. They carry rare and used Doctor Who books at an affordable price. Get all your Wilderness Year needs at amazon.com/shops/Mark Who 42. Mark Who 42 Books is proud to be a sponsor of Mark Who 42's Doctor Who Universe.
Hi, I'm number one New York Times bestselling author Tony Lee, and you're listening to Mark Who 42.
Mark Who 42 Universe.
Welcome to Mark Who 42's Whoniverse, Doctor Who Whoniverse, that is. I'm your host, Mark-Baumgarten, and with me as always are...
Patricia Helm.
Eduardo-m-freyre.
Christian Basel.
Hey gang, we're back. New year. I mean, we've already been heard this year, but we're back again. This is a great year to be alive because we're in the middle of what you like to call a pregnancy, don't you, Ed?
Well, it's going to be 9 months till we get some new Who. So yeah, when Doctor Who was off for when Doctor Who was off for several years, it was the wilderness years. So. Right. I think this is, we're talking less than a year, but it's 9 months. So yeah, I think wilderness pregnancy. I think that's very appropriate.
So as we're in the wilderness pregnancy, let's start off with
a special BBC report about the wilderness pregnancy from our Doctor Who correspondent, Patricia Helm. Patricia, what trimester are we in?
The first one. And so very early on, too.
So we probably shouldn't tell anybody yet, then. We probably shouldn't tell anybody because we're so early in the first trimester.
Well, I believe we are still early, but I do believe Doctor Who has been getting weird cravings in the middle of the night.
Ah.
I'm hoping it's octoplets.
Oh, Who's going to be an octomom, I'll tell you that. That's not good.
Well, they started filming the new series on last Monday on January 6th.
Woohoo!
And there were some set pictures put up online, and it showed Madame Vostra, Jenny, and Strax were on set that first day.
Huh?
I guess Peter Capaldi and Jenna Louise Coleman, they didn't show up until the second day filming, and there was another picture of them too. But still no picture of him in a new costume. He was still wearing Matt Smith's clothes. No word on what his costume's going to be yet.
I can't wait to see it. It should be fantastic. And just now that he's the 12th Doctor, but he's not the 12th Doctor, is he? Whatever. We don't have to worry about a Colin Baker repeat, do we? We don't have to go for the double the Colin Baker at the 12.
Let's take the 80s, shoot a missile at it, and say, yeah, that's what we've got. Let's take all the colors rejected by Rainbow Sprite.
Well, it's like I think the best joke I've ever heard regarding Colin Baker's outfit is it looks like a Crayola factory vomited.
It did. It totally did.
Oh, well, Clara maybe should watch her back. She doesn't want to end up like Perry with, getting choked.
Yeah, I don't think Moffat would actually have the new Doctor go psycho and choke his
Moffat
companion.
did say that it was time for a difficult and more dangerous Doctor.
Sounds like Colin.
Yeah, he said, this was a quote, he said, "I think it's time for the show to flip around a bit. The new version of the show is quite old now. It's very old. We need the kick up the arse Doctor in a way to frighten you and make you think, oh, it's a different show again." So, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
You said kick ours.
I heard that. I was going to say that too.
Now, Moffat has also said that series 8 and 9 will both be whole series. They won't be split into two sections.
All right.
And he also has promised that series 9 will come out in 2015. So it's not.
Right. It's a double. All right.
Not going to be a longer wait.
Yes, but are we going to have another?
Of course, who knows when in 2015?
Well, from what I understand, it's going to be in the fall now. He's going to do it in the fall, so it won't be until the fall of 2015. There'll be another pregnancy next year.
Crap. Oh well.
This is a fall show, according to Moffat. World according to Moffat.
I don't know why they can't go back to it being an Easter show. Come on.
Yeah. Can we have an Easter show?
An Easter summer show. I like that better.
Yeah.
But in the Easter summer, people go outside and play, and they don't get the ratings that they do when they show it in a colder time slot. Seriously, I'm not joking about this. The weather is part of how they, in England, how they schedule their programming, because on a hot day you're gonna have less viewers than on a cold day.
I can see that. Yes.
Well, unless it's South Florida, in which if it gets really hot, people want to stay indoors because they're
Well,
melting if they
yeah,
walk
but
outside.
it doesn't get like that there usually. It gets nice there. It gets oppressive down here, Ed, as you know. It gets nice there.
Oh, the only other news story that I have is
Uh-huh.
something else that Stephen Moffat has said. He was talking about River Song, and he's not certain whether he's going to bring her back for Peter Capaldi's era of the
Oh
Doctor.
no, River has to come back. Alex Kingston, no, she has to come back.
Well, he
Well, okay,
says it's
did
all.
he? What did he say? Like, what did
He
he
says
say as
that
far
it's.
as?
He says it's down to whether there's a good story. He says, my immediate instinct was the story's probably done. Not that we saw all of it, but I never thought we should see all of it. I'm slightly tempted because I imagine Peter Capaldi and Alex Kingston would be absolutely hilarious together. So, I mean, he kind of wants to do it, but he's not sure if the story's there, because he liked Alex and Matt together because, the age difference was, you know, interesting, and he's not sure, because he says that Peter Capaldi and Alex Kingston look like they could be a couple, whereas Alex and Matt never really looked like they could be.
Is that an ageist slight? That sounds like an ageist
It
slight to
might
me.
be.
I'm sorry. I'm close to Peter's age, and well, I'm 10 years younger, but I'm still close to Peter's age, and I'm sorry, that's ageist.
Well, I have to agree with him on I have to agree with Moffat on the fact that if you are going to have her back, then there has to be a story to go with it.
But
Don't
he's the
just bring her.
story editor. He's the
Well,
showrunner. He
well, but
comes
see,
up with the story.
yeah, but see, this is the thing. If he doesn't have a good story idea, then why just simply say, "Oh, and we're going to have River come in,"
Well,
just
okay.
so we could have them interact.
It would have been
If he
nice to
doesn't
have
have,
an
yeah,
anniversary then.
if he, I mean, at least for Series 8, if we don't have a River Song story, we won't have a River Song story.
Right.
I mean, better that he take his time to come up with a good story to bring her back than to simply have her back just because and then have a bad story.
I do agree. I'd rather not have River back than have River starring in Rings of Akatan 2. Yeah.
No,
I totally would understand not having River back if that was my
Knock
choice.
wood. No return to Akatan. No return to singing Space Egypt.
La 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 la
No.
Spoilers.
But I would like to see how she interacts with him. I mean, I think it would be really interesting to see, and especially remember what she says to Ten in the library. She's like, like you're the youngest I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
Matt
she's seen
was
him older.
Yeah, so she's seen him older. So, I think the possibility is there.
Yeah.
And also, she left something hanging in the name of the Doctor, the psychic link with Claire. We never got an answer to that, so I'm sure that's coming up.
Say spoilers. No, and plus the biggest thing. I mean, for me, the biggest thing with River, the biggest hanging thread, plot, is that. I'm trying to be serious here.
That was good.
Serious
Yeah,
here.
you're the one. I'm sorry.
I know it wasn't working.
Paused.
Anyway, but the biggest. I'm sorry. I was trying to look for a word to go with hanging. Anyway, but the biggest hanging plot line that we have, as far as River's concerned, is that we've never seen that last meeting between River and the Doctor, the one where we know that the next place she's going to go is the library. Like, we haven't seen that,
Right.
And really, honestly, my thought would be if you're going to do a story with River, that doesn't mean that we never see her again, but do a story where it's clear, where River and the Doctor realize that she's going to meet her fate.
Right.
That's where she's going. So it's that event that they knew was coming. Is now here. That she's going to the library.
Yes, and where he gives her his sonic screwdriver.
And he tells her his name if he hasn't supposedly done.
No. The name was given back in Wedding of River Song.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
still, she needs the screwdriver.
She needs the screwdriver.
She needs it badly.
It's got 3 settings.
All right, hold on there. Hold on. Family show, guys. Oh.
I think somebody wants me to go back to Reno. Really.
I'm about to go to commercial break because it is.
Spoilers. Time Lord Fabulous.
You know what? Do we have any more news?
No, that's it.
Then I think we are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back.
Actually, oh shoot.
Oh wait. Oh hey, Christian, if you've got something to tell us, tell me.
Yeah. I want to hit the spoiler alert.
Okay, I'll hit the spoiler alert.
Can you hit that? I can't reach.
I'm hitting the spoiler alert. Go for it.
Mark can hit that.
Speaking of people coming back, did anybody see the online pictures from Neve Campbell? And I can't think of her name. I think Neve Campbell. Darn. Can I change
I
that?
was like, wait a minute.
Neve Campbell's coming. Cool.
Oh, great! It's that Doctor Who Party of 5 crossover we've always
That's
wanted.
right.
It's Doctor Who versus the Screen Killer.
Power of 5.
Like scary movies.
All right.
Claire, you like scary movies.
Yes, I've actually seen mummies.
All right.
Let me call you back.
Why don't you try that
check the
again,
children.
Christian, if you can?
Can I hit that button again?
I'll hit. No, okay, we'll hit the spoiler alert again. Oh, I hate hitting that alert. It costs money every time.
So let me get their names right before I put it in my mouth. Here. Neve McIntosh, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's coming to FSC?
I want to say Jenny Flint, but I can't think of her real name off the top of my head. But both of their sites are showing pictures from Series 8, and they're both showing them in the series.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, they're in the first story. The trio are showing up to bring a kind of. I think we've already mentioned it. To bring a kind of familiarity to the first episode with Peter Capaldi. So they're bringing the 3 back.
That's been confirmed. Yeah, that's
been confirmed.
That's not a spoil. Hell, Trish said it. Her first news thing was we have pictures of the trio.
So the spoiler alert. I just wait. You know how much money it costs
send Chris. You know what?
They haven't had it in a long time. Might as well.
Well, hey, send Christian the bill.
Christian's getting the bill. No, Christian will get the bill. We'll go to commercial. That'll cover the cost. When we come back, we're going to have Danny Figueras, a builder of TARDISes. So we'll be right back.
Spoilers.
I'm Colin Baker, and you are listening to Mark Who 42, The Meaning of Life.
Hey, listen! Come to Animate-Miami, the largest anime, cartoon, and cosplay festival in South Florida.
Animate-Miami has 3 days of events with celebrities, costume contests, dance parties, video games, artists, wrestling, and more.
Meet the stars of Adventure Time, Penny and Stocking, Dragon Ball, Madoka Magica, Sword Art Online, and more.
Join us at the Miami Airport Convention Center, January 17th to the 19th.
Hey, listen!
AnimateMiami.com.
Are you looking for a weekly dose of gaming news and retro? And check out Off the Cuff, available Fridays on Geekcast Radio Network from the producers of XRG. New name, same.
And we're back with Mark Who 42's Doctor WHOniverse. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and with me, as always, are Patricia Helm, Eduardo-m-Freyre, and Christian Basel. And we've got a special guest who's got his own theme song.
Danny Figueras is the enabler. A Quinn Martin production.
The enabler, wow. And here he is, the man himself, the enabler, Danny Figueras. Hey, Danny.
Hello.
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
It got better with that song.
Yeah.
Quinn Martin production.
That's right.
Yeah, now I feel like protesting Vietnam. And and saying, it's all that jerk Tricky Dick's fault.
It was his fault. It was totally Tricky Dick's
What
fault.
was on the tapes? What was on the tapes?
Well, only the silence would know.
We have Danny
It's tricky
on.
to rock around that stuff. Oh, sorry.
We have Danny on because he's enabling us to tell us about building TARDISes and other things like that. Because Danny, you've built several TARDISes, haven't you?
I have built a few in my day. Built 2 of them.
Are they bigger on the inside?
Well, yes. It depends on how you look at them. I paint them black so that, and they're sealed tight. So if you close the door, you can't see the walls. So, if you do that kind of logic, technically, they are bigger than the inside.
All right. So, Danny, tell us what goes into. And first of all, let's start even from the beginning. Why the heck did you build the TARDIS?
It all started a few years ago. A buddy of mine had a comic shop, and he originally was like, what would be a good idea, to have like this little TARDIS, and he wanted it hanging from the ceiling, looking like it was flying in the vortex.
Right.
And it went from having this little TARDIS where, it needed to be big enough so that you could see it from the ground to why don't we make one a little bigger and a little bigger, and then maybe it's something instead of being hanging on the ceiling, because at that point it was too big to hang in the ceiling. Maybe we ought to just have it under the corner somewhere. Next thing you know, the opening day of the comic store has this 8-foot 6-inch TARDIS that you can take. It had everything that you can imagine and you wanted in a TARDIS.
Yeah, you do your own electrical and everything. I mean, you really make this deck it out.
I do my own design for the electronics. I do the electro. I do the most of the carpentry. That one that was in the comic store was a collaboration between me and a buddy of mine named Frederick Mergenthaler, and it was fun. It was a great project. Took us about 2 months.
Wow.
It was my first major project build.
Yeah, and where is that first TARDIS now?
It is at the Florida SuperCon headquarters in Sunrise, Florida.
Oh yeah,
free to swing by there and take a look at it.
Oh, the clubhouse. Well, they have to have, I guess, special invite to the clubhouse. Really.
Yeah.
Speaking of Florida SuperCon, Animate is next week.
Yes.
Yeah. What's going to be going on at Animate, Danny?
I'll have a booth where I will be, having the TARDIS out and about. And people can come in to, take their pictures. I think, what else is? Basically, it's, you can see it, the new TARDIS, not the one.
Yeah, right. This is the new improved TARDIS that you'll have there.
Yeah. This is the difference between, like, the first TARDIS, we really had no idea what we were doing as far as how we wanted to do it. After building one TARDIS, if you're still psychotic enough to build a second one at that point, then I would say, you learn enough from the first one to build the second one. Me being myself, I built the second one and decided to pour everything I could possibly throw at it and then a little extra. So, like, the second TARDIS is actually, oh my God, it's the sturdiest thing I've ever built at this point.
Yeah.
How long does it take? How long does it take you to build one, or did it take you to build the first and second one?
Now that I've somewhat perfected the art of building large boxes, I would say it takes me less than a month. It would probably take me about 2 weeks to do to get most of the wood stuff taken care of. The electronics would take me about 3 days, solid, and then there's painting, staining, because the TARDIS is, okay, fine. We'll go with the plural TARDIS is there.
Yeah. Stephen Moffat has now said TARDISes, so it's TARDISes.
Oh yeah, TARDISes. So the TARDISes, they're the first when they first come out. When I first built them, they're not painted; they're stained blue, so that way you can still see the wood grain. So it takes some stain coats to do that, and then there's like the vinyl work for the signs, and just kind of little things that you don't notice. like the locks are Yale locks imported from the UK. So those take a couple weeks to get when you order them. I mean, other than that, most of the stuff is it takes about 3 weeks total. I'd say give it a safe month and you'll be fine.
Wow.
I'm actually gonna. So you're gonna bring the new improved TARDIS to Animate. I'm actually gonna be there Saturday.
Okay.
I'm hosting a panel in the evening. I'll have to swing by. I'll have to swing by and check it out.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've ever, the way that they're built, they really are. This thing is falling on its face. And,
has it really?
Yeah, and it's still maintained. I mean, it didn't buckle or anything. And this is a heavy, this is like, I'd say about 500 pounds.
Wow.
Heavier on the inside.
It would definitely put on weight. So, but then again, I mean, like the posts, the corner posts, they're 6 by 6. 6 inches by 6 inches of wood.
Wow.
So that way it's rigid. It won't, you can move it around and not feel that it's cardboard. Like a lot of TARDISes that you see at conventions, they're made to be taken apart.
Right.
This need a flatbed truck to move, and it can't be taken apart.
No IKEA TARDIS.
Do people ask you to build them for them? And
all the time. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where, because this TARDIS has everything, like remote control sound, remote control lights. It's weatherproof, so you can go outdoors with it. You can put it in your back patio, and the rain comes, and you don't have to worry about it. But then that's like the creme of the creme for TARDIS, for props like that. And then I get I get people say, "Oh, how much?" And then I tell them, and like something like that is about $5,000, and they're like, "Whoa!" All of a sudden,
that was my next question.
Yeah.
The creme de la creme would go about for $5,000, and then at that point, people are like, whoa, okay, well, I could buy a decent car, like a used car, or I can buy, some people are, iffy on that. And then they're like, well, what about something different? And I'm like, well, if you want less features, then obviously it's a lower price.
Yeah, Danny is an enabler. He can give it to you for a lower price if he has to.
I feel like a car dealer at Gallifrey. I can get you in this baby for $20.99.
I remember I was going to get one from you. I was going to order a miniature one, a half size. I remember.
Oh, so like the Beetle of TARDIS, Volkswagen Beetle. I can get you in that.
No, I don't want. That's all right. That was a couple of years ago. I was thinking about that.
Not a deal, okay?
But here's a question, because Mark just mentioned a tinier size TARDIS, and your profile picture on Skype is a hand-sized TARDIS. So I'm guessing you do like in different medium, different shapes. So
it depends.
Somebody wanted a more portable.
It depends. I mean, some people's hands are bigger than others.
Oh my!
No.
Get in that corner. Get it ready for us for next segment.
I can build them, smaller, but at that point, they sell them made out of plastic or, wood, at a smaller size. And I can't, you really can't do like a whole lot in the electronics, and you could probably put a remote part in there, but for the most part, I'd stick to the bigger stuff simply because, there's a lot of people out there that sell the smaller stuff.
Right.
There's not a lot of people I know of that could build you, a 9-foot prop. And these are movie quality props. These are. They're not, it's not, they're not made for traveling conventions and stuff like that. I live in South Florida, so I hit the South Florida conventions, but that's because I got to rent a truck from from either U-Haul or, Home Depot. I can't imagine doing that cross country. And these things are just, they're photogenically pleasing. They're made for, for movies or for short movies or for pictures or, whatever.
Time Lord eye candy.
There you go. For the Time Lord that doesn't have it all, now he can have it all.
Very cool.
What other things have you been commissioned for, Danny? I mean, besides TARDISes, I mean, have you done other science fiction stuff?
Yeah, I built a multi-game arcade. Themed, oddly enough.
I saw that at FSC, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
I built it's an arcade I built from the ground up from using a template from an existing arcade, and it's got about 30,000 games in it.
Wow.
And it's got little pictures of the artist, comic book artist friend of mine named Derek Donovan, who will be in Louisiana, by the way.
Yeah, we'll talk about Louisiana in a second.
Okay, but yeah, so it's an arcade that basically has it's got neon, it's computer driven, it's got all the buttons, it's got an arcade monitor, brand new. It's not a piece together hodgepodge. And it's got every game you can imagine. And there's even pictures of Daleks and a couple TARDISes on it as a tribute.
Cool.
Speaking of which, have you ever done life-size Dalek?
I have a friend of mine that wants to. There was an idea. What I wanted to do was a couple years ago. I wanted to do a Davros. With a power chair and and the idea was to put a friend of mine in it who looked a lot like him, and so
that's sad. You have a friend who looks like Davros, because Davros is really decrepit and.
Mark,
I'm sorry. Do I know this person?
This was Mike. This was Mike and I's idea.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Excuse me.
So we were gonna put him in a Davros, and basically I was gonna put him in a power chair, build the bottom skirt, and have it open, and then have a buddy of mine do the sci-fi, the painting and all that, and basically get him wheeling around in a Davros. But I mean, I have a friend of mine who wants to build a Dalek. He wants to do the concept art for like a steampunk type of Dalek, but it's gonna be from what I've seen in the pictures, it's gonna be phenomenal, and we were talking about possibly collaborating on that.
Cool.
Other than that, I'm working on plans for building a canine unit, a remote control canine unit. It's gonna double up as a audio and video entertainment center.
Oh wow!
So it'll be a mobile AV center. That's pretty much what I got on my plate right now for building. And then of course I do other things, like I do vinyl stickers and stuff like that.
I thought it was a big deal that John Barrowman was going to MegaCon this year, but you informed me, didn't you? Someone's going to New Orleans Comic Con.
Yes.
And you've got the VIP package for that, don't you?
The minute somebody told me, I was like, no. I thought I would literally have to go from one end of the earth to the other to find even like the bathroom that this guy went to 30 minutes prior to, just so that I can say I urinated in a similar urinal. And all of a sudden somebody said, no, he's going to be like nearby. And I'm like, whoa.
Matt Smith, my God. Matt Smith is coming to America to a convention. Not the San Diego Comic-Con, New Orleans Comic-Con.
Yes.
I didn't even know New Orleans had a Comic-Con.
It's I don't think you could call it.
I don't think it's a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think that's like Comic-Con. I don't know if Comic-Con's like trademarked to San Diego, or I don't know. I don't think it's the same people though. So
right,
it's like Earl's Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, it's in New Orleans. It's like Earl.
It's Uncle Bob's Comic-Con, and
Oh, good grief!
Earl's Comic-Con and Waffle House.
I'm expecting an email or a message from a Cajun guy going, we put a lot of hard work into that Comic-Con. I don't think I
guarantee we put a lot of work to get a Matt Smith to our Comic-Con. I guarantee it.
I don't see Matt Smith at your Comic-Con. Is he at your convention? I don't see him in Orlando with that little mouse and that. No, he in New Orleans.
Danny, I think we've got to work on Mike. If New Orleans Comic-Con can get Matt Smith, we've got to work on him.
Last thing I heard, there was gonna be one or two people he was very close to getting for Florida SuperCon, but I don't know anything more than that.
Yeah, we have Neve.
These were bigger up in the list.
Good.
Yeah.
I know. I remember he was talking to me, and we went over a few of them, but we're not at liberty to talk about who they are.
Yeah.
Danny, thank you so very much for appearing on the WHOniverse.
Not a problem.
Thanks for being, and I'll see you next Saturday. I'll definitely be swinging by.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for giving me this chance to enable some more.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Thank you.
And I'm with Grace Holloway. And Grace, am I a better kisser than Paul McGann?
All right, this one's hard, but I'm going to have to say yes.
Eat it, Paul.
Hi, I'm Daphne Ashbrook, and you are listening to Mark Who 42.
Pixels in the Animation is the next cartoon review podcast series in the Geekcast Radio Network's long history of review series. We've had Transformers, He-Man, and Mask as far as the cartoon review podcasts we have done. Now we bring in TV's Mr. Neil as he and TFG and Mike break down 9 video game cartoon series. Steve Megatron will join us for the Mega Man and Sonic episodes. We will be reviewing and analyzing every episode of the Mario, Zelda, Captain N, Mega Man, Donkey Kong, and Sonic cartoons. You can expect us to go in-depth and also talk about the game franchises that spawned these cartoons. So tune in summer 2013 as we find the pixels in the animation.
The Pull Bag is the GCRN's place for everything you need in the comic book world. We focus on new and current comics, while also tackling a few back issues here and there. So join the entire GCRN crew and see what issues the hosts have with today's panels. You can find the Pull Bag on iTunes and geekcast-radio.com. Make your great escape into comics.
And we're back, and we've just entered Christian's Corner. Oh, yeah. It feels like we're in the neighborhood, doesn't it?
Wait a minute. Don't we have a little bit in the budget to actually put some kind of theme or jingle here?
Oh, we have it.
Just a little?
You're not listening to it? You're not hearing that we're in the neighborhood of Christian's Corner?
Oh, God. Is that Fred Rogers I hear?
Yes, it is. Fred Rogers.
Nightmares about that trolley going around.
Can you say tissue compression eliminate? I know you can.
So I'm going to have to do it that way, aren't I? Oh,
yes, Christian. Okay, so Christian, this
Today's
is
word is Sutek.
Oh, no.
I'm just getting over that.
Right.
Hello, children. Welcome to Christian's Corner. Can you say Sutek? I knew that you could, yeah.
Oh God! Now it's like a really rapey Bob. Now it's like a really rapey the guy who used to do the paintings.
Oh, hey, the paintings were beautiful. The guy was crazy.
We're gonna put a happy tree here.
The happy tree is lonely. We need to give him a buddy. Let's put a Dalek out there to burn him.
Christian,
exterminate. I knew that you could.
Christian, tell us about your corner.
Now that we're kind of in the Doctor Who pregnancy hiatus, you all now have a chance to ask us questions, either individually or all of us together as a group. So here is your chance to ask the Mark Who 42 WHOniverse team that burning question that you've always wanted to ask. Anyway, yes, we had quite a few responses, and hopefully if we don't get yours this week, you'll definitely get yours hopefully by the next show. To just make it easy, we're just going to go in order.
We're still open for more questions, so just remember to either send them to mark@markwho42.com or put them on our Facebook page, and we'll answer them in the next coming weeks. Go ahead, Christian. First question.
Actually, you got an email.
Oh, we got an email. We always get emails.
Well,
but
let's start
what
with
else
that
about
one
this
first.
email?
And how much money does the Nigerian prince need?
Hey, I love spam.
You say exterminate. I knew that you could. Yes.
We got a beautiful little email from listener Michael-Angelo. This is a letter we received from Michael-Angelo. Hey everyone, I hope all is going well. My name is Michael-Angelo, believe it or not, and Michael-Angelo, I got it. I didn't get it until then. I had a question for all of you, and I'm looking forward to your advice. I've been a fan of Doctor Who ever since I was 6. I'm currently 21. My father was a fan, and he'd always play tapes of episodes featuring Tom Baker. I grew up loving the Doctor and reenacting scenes constantly. Living in Orlando, Florida, this better not be Christian, no one ever knew what the heck I was talking about when I mentioned Doctor Who.
I can sympathize with that one.
Even after the reboot in 2005, which I think is bleeping awesome. Since the recent boom of its popularity in the States, it finally now seems like I'm not alone in my geeky fandom. Okay. However, in reality, I get out at least 3 times a week for social events and have yet to find my companion. Aww. I have no problem talking to women I find attractive, and I find myself flirting often. Problem is, when I get deep into a conversation about Doctor Who, I usually can't stop and end up looking wired. I think I just need a lady Whovian that's ready to fall in love. Maybe one with the same problem as me. So my question is, where do I go from here?
Oh my.
Wow.
I think.
Wow. Wait a minute, where did that letter go? Because we were starting off with a lesson in history, and then all of a sudden we became a dating site out of this. Well, where did that go?
Yeah. Well, okay. I think that in order to answer this question, this was directed to all of us, but I think Trish should probably go first. Give him perspective of the.
On the female perspective?
Yeah, give him the female perspective, I think.
Well, I see that it said, that he, when he's talking to someone about Doctor Who, he gets so into it, he seems wired. Well, I think when you're first talking to a woman, even if she does say that she's a Whovian, maybe talk about it a little bit, but don't get into your deepest theories on, on what happened to the ducks in the duck pond or something. Just go, oh, I'm a Whovian too, who's your favorite Doctor or something like that, and then maybe go on to another subject and see what else you guys have in common. And then, if you guys hit it off, you could always come back and talk more about Doctor Who later.
Yeah.
After you get her hooked.
Oh, of course.
It's just try not to come on too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold back on your sonic screwdriver.
Yeah. Now, Michael, you say you live in the Orlando area. I've got a little piece of advice for you. There's a club in Orlando called the Guardians of Gallifrey, and they're actually having a meeting. They're meeting next Sunday at 12 o'clock on January 19th at Sci-Fi City in Orlando, Florida. So why don't you try going there, and you'll meet other like-minded people who like Doctor Who, and who knows? I mean, it's a club. It's not a dating service, but it might be cool. And if you're lucky, I might actually show up there to say hi in person. Because I'll be up in Orlando for a family thing, and Sunday at noon I might be free. So, maybe
I'm glad you clarified that because you were scaring me for a
no,
second.
yeah, I
I might show up. I'm like, whoa.
No. I just mean, if you want to talk about it more in detail, because talking about dating someone who likes Doctor Who or going out with someone in Doctor Who, because it is tough. Doctor Who, I remember growing up, that was a killer. It was a killer. You like Doctor Who? I don't want to go out with you. I mean, it was a very simple thing like that.
Mark, it's funny that you should mention the meeting of Guardians of Gallifrey, because one of the things I was going to bring up is if you want to find a like-minded female to try and hook up with, one of the things you could do is look for things like that. Look for clubs, look for conventions, look for gatherings
definitely
that would have like-minded people. Like, don't just go to a club. Don't just start talking to people like that you see wandering the aisles in Barnes and Noble.
Right.
Try to narrow your focus. The other thing is, as far as the going a little bit too wild, Trish has a point. Use Doctor Who as an icebreaker, but you don't have to. First time you speak to somebody, go deep into your theories on the ducks in the duck pond, Peter Capaldi's regeneration, will they bring back the Zygons after Day of the Doctor? You don't have to go into that. That's just the icebreaker. If you find you have trouble, I would recommend that you repeat in your head a line from the opening to the show Mystery Science Theater. during the theme song, there's a line that goes, "Just repeat to yourself, it's just a show, and I really should relax." Just remember, okay, trust me, I'm a huge Whovian. I'm a huge comics guy. I'm huge into sci-fi, but one of the things I've learned is you got to know when to go, okay, enough about this. We're moving on. Or I don't need to get that wired about this topic or that topic.
And failing all that, the safest bet, go on Craigslist. But no, please don't.
But yeah, no,
please. Of all the advice you're going to take today,
Craigslist.
Please get rid of that one.
But Michael, thank you very much for writing to us, and maybe we'll talk soon.
Actually, I want to go a little bit further.
Oh, you can go a little further. Go a little further. Let's make this. This is Love Line here. I'm Adam Carolla.
Actually, I'm going to pop off the because you started saying something about what Donatella had just mentioned. Or is that Michael-angelo?
Michael-angelo. Donatella.
Ron Turtle.
Ron Turtle.
But
not the purple,
something
the
that
orange.
you had mentioned that I was growing up the same way is that everybody I knew in elementary and high school, or middle and high school, when they would mention, they were watching their favorite TV shows. Oh, there was the Transformers. Oh, it was G.I. Joe. Oh, it was the GoBot. I mean, oh, it was this or this and
Wait,
that.
somebody
and
actually liked the GoBots?
I think one or two.
Wow.
We didn't talk to them that much, but if you mentioned Doctor Who, everybody just thought you had crabs crawling out of your ears. They just stared at you, and then people would be like, "Well, where can we watch Doctor Who?" And I said, "PBS," and like, "Oh, they still have that? Still have PBS?" And I'm like, while their shows are getting commercials about Transformers and stuff like that, mine's is begging for you to buy this full VHS tape set to save the show for another year or so like that. But I think one of the things I can really appreciate now with the expenditure of Facebook is that people that I didn't know in high school and in middle school when I was growing up watching Doctor Who, a lot of people were closet Whovians who just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they felt the same way I did, to where I'm not going to mention this. I'm going to tell kids I watched some, I forgot who was it. During another show on the BBC, I think it was Rufus Hound, who came up with there was a debating game show, and he was actually the anti-Doctor Who version. And when people talk about heroes, they're talking about Men of Steel, Men of Steel, Men of Steel, and now we're talking about Doctor Who as this British, scrawny guy with a scarf and a hat running around a police box chasing women and bringing them into his police box. So, growing up, I can understand Michelangelo's case where it's, having that feeling of, God, I didn't know any of these people. And now friends who I wouldn't even have fathomed
right.
In my high school coming out saying, yeah, I used to watch that. You're Whovian too? I'm like, the hell have you been? Where was I when I needed you to talk to? It was like, Tom.
Oh yeah, no, Trish and I, we still have moments where we're talking and, we realize a mutual geek love of ours, and I'm thinking, why didn't I meet you before? Why have I only met you, more recently in my life?
But back then it was almost like I had to hide the fact that, it was kind of like an antisocial, stereotypical thing that I had to hide. It's like, I'm a Whovian, I can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Now today, if somebody, I walk up and say, hey, you watch Doctor Who? And go like, what's Doctor Who? I'm like, the hell have you been? What's wrong with you?
No, that was me. That was me growing up in school with anything. I mean, I was G.I. Joe, I was Transformers, I was comics, but it's like I don't know, the schools I went to had heavy jock populations, so it was, I mean, believe me, I feel that like many times over.
Okay. Well, I think we've given Michael's email some thought, and we've answered it as best we can. So, Christian, go for the next question. The first question, actually.
Or the first un-email question comes from our friend Chris Turner.
Woohoo!
Hey.
If you had a list of the best doctors, the ones you've watched of all time, what would it be? And let's actually do this. Let's go ladies first.
All right. Well, for me, the top of the list is David Tennant. And that's because he was my first doctor. And and then it'd have to be Matt Smith and then Chris Eccleston.
So you gotta go.
Because I'm more New Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I have seen, some of some of all the classic Doctors too, and I do really like Tom Baker. I do want to watch more of his episodes. That would have to be my top 4.
All right. I'll give my top 4 next. First Doctor, so that would you always like your first the best, so I'd go with Tom Baker. I'd put David Tennant at actually no, I wouldn't. Tom Baker, Sylvester McCoy, John Pertwee, David Tennant, Patrick Troughton, Colin Baker, Eccleston, and so forth.
Where's Matt Smith on your
Matt
list?
Smith,
Sorry, Matt.
Somewhere down there.
Ow,
ow,
ow.
Hey, they were all good. I told you I stopped watching Doctor Who for a while last week. I told you about that because of Matt Smith. I told you that. So Matt Smith cannot be high on the list. He got me to stop watching Doctor Who.
Okay, true. Well, for my favorites, like Mark and Trish, I'm going to start, the top one is my first. So yeah, my man Tom is at the top. Following him would be his immediate predecessor, John Pertwee.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 3 would be David Tennant. And then number 4 would be Sylvester McCoy.
Okay.
I think the bottoms would be.
Do we really want to give the bottoms? I mean,
Well, but yeah,
okay.
I don't think there's any. Okay, I don't think there's any bad Doctors, but yeah, like with Mark, I think Matt Smith would be probably more towards the bottom. Yeah, it's not that I don't like him; it's that there are other Doctors that I kind of have more of a feel for.
Yeah, I would go with that. Christian, how about you?
This is going to be a very eclectic list, but I'm going to join the guys on number 1. Of course, he's my first and favorite in all time, and I think set the precedence on what really Doctor Who's all about. Of course, it's going to be Tom.
Who knows?
And I think without Tom, there would have been no Doctor Who of the future.
Yeah.
I think it would just kind of fizzled out. Number 2 is going to be a very, very unpopular one.
Uh-oh.
And this is how I'm actually basing mine. Mine is based upon how many videos I have and how many times I watch and rerun The Doctors. Like if I'm like at home and I just want to, relax and spend some time watch a Doctor, Colin Baker would be my second.
Hey, Colin, I love Colin. Colin's great.
I would put Colin on my second place.
Wow.
My third place is going to be unfavorable to you, gentlemen, but I would put Matt Smith as my third favorite Doctor.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he's just, I know in recent, probably not the most recent series and probably some of it, but I think, Time of the Doctor and stuff, but I would still watch him again. And I think, I got third. Let me go for fourth. I would think, I would probably, fourth. Yeah, easily. I shouldn't even think it. Patrick Troughton.
Yes. Have you gotten to see
have
you seen Enemy of the World yet or Web of Fear? Have you seen the ones that they just found?
Not yet.
Oh, I gotta send them copies over to you. Oh, it's amazing. Patrick was an amazing Doctor, and it's so bad that most of his episodes were missing, and the fact that they found some, they are so good.
And
I love Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
And round up the top 5, it would actually be a toss-up. And even though he hadn't had too much of an appearance on TV, both of them actually never had too much of an appearance on TV. It's a toss-up between Christopher Eccleston and Paul McGann.
Okay, cool.
Because the audios have enticed me to listen to Paul.
Oh, yeah, the audios that Paul does. If I was going audio Doctors, I would say Paul, Colin, Sylvester, Peter, Tom. I mean, that's how it'd go.
Yeah, no,
I see that. Oh, that's weird because I put Tom at the bottom on that list. But the only reason I put Tom at the bottom of that list is he's only done like 12 or 13 of them so far, and just want him to do more before I.
Yeah. I think it also can back up that because you can't see Tom.
Right.
A lot of the stuff that Tom put on was not only 50% of his voice, 50% of his visual, the slapstick, the bug eyes, the scarf and everything. How he was just in the face of the bad guy. To see that, I think
exactly. I mean, when we joke, the who knows thing, it's funny, but it's funnier when you see him touch his nose when he does that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was just an audio, if it was just like a speaker box like Charlie's Angels popping up in there and speaking, that would have been the same as Tom staring right in the face with his eyes and saying it and walking with his cane and just showing it.
Very different. Very different. Okay, so we've answered that question. Thank you, Chris. Next.
And our next question comes from Scott-Viguie. Given that the War Doctor did embrace the title of Doctor, at least at the very end, is not Peter Capaldi really the 13th Doctor?
I will answer that really.
Oh, you'll start. Okay.
I'll answer that really. It's not an everybody answer. Yes, he'd be the 13th Doctor. However, he will be called the 12th Doctor because it's just easier not to renumber. And I'm sure the BBC is going with that story.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that one. I mean, while it's very touching that towards the end he embraced the name of the Doctor, and 10 and 11 said that he was worthy of calling himself the Doctor. I think just for clarification purposes, sticking with the War Doctor and not now confusing everybody by, shifting the numbers up. I'd say we just stick with it.
Yeah.
I've seen some people on Facebook and stuff, say that, oh, I'm going to call him, Peter Capaldi the 13th because, I want to give, War Doctor his due. Yeah. But, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be kind of a fight between the Whovians for a while. But
they have
still
the
think,
pregnancy to fight it out.
And I still, think that ultimately Peter Capaldi is going to be referred to as the 12th Doctor, just because it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
This is a toughie, I think, for numerics. I mean, I've got the somebody just bought me the Doctor Who bookmarker, and it has the 11 Doctors, and then where does War fit in? And we actually jokingly put a meme picture out and showed what is considered the complete set of Doctors, the 11 Doctors, and asking the question, do you think this is a complete set without the War Doctor? And that meme just brought in a lot of attention. Yeah, I don't think it's numeric per se. He is the War Doctor. And frankly, as going back to Chris Turner's question, even though he hadn't played it for a while and he had the shortest screen time as the Doctor, I'm going to say that most of John Hurt's time as the Doctor is some of the best scenes and the best acted role, more than some of the Doctors who played it for years. I think he was an incredible Doctor, and I like the fact that we kind of have been so comfortable in our setting and our ways of saying, hey, this is number 1, this is number 2, number 5, number 12, and all that, that when we kind of throw in the monkey wrench of the War Doctor, how people reacted, this is the kind of thing that we're going to be, I guess, assuming that is going to be in the future, that whatever you think about Doctor Who has to change. And this is one of the things that it's just not only making the change, but bringing us into a new 50 years of Doctor Who.
Okay. Christian, can we do one more for the questions for the Christian's Corner, and then we'll save the rest for the next shows.
Yeah, and this one, our final question of this podcast, comes from Hayley-Smith, who actually runs her own cosplay.
Oh,
it's beautiful if you ever check it out. I think it's Hayley-Smith. Spelled Hayley Smith. If you ever check her stuff out, it's great.
Okay.
Her question, speaking of cosplay, is if you could put any of the Doctors in any other fictional outfits, which would you choose? Let's start it off with Ed.
Lord. Oh, Lord. Any of the Doctors in any other fictional outfit? Oh, good grief. Well, hey, we have precedent because Tom Baker in Talons of Wing Chang dressed up in a very Holmesian outfit.
That's where I was gonna go with my answer too.
So yeah, I think I would say the 10th Doctor in one of Sean Connery as James Bond's suits.
Oh wow!
He 10 did wear like a nice suit in Voyage of the Damned. So we do also have precedent for that, but it would kind of be cool having 10 dressed up Bond style, maybe in the same kind of environment.
Trish, for the feminine point of view.
Well, let's see.
Time Lord Fabulous.
I'd like to see Matt Smith dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. Because he already kind of does have that drunken giraffe walk that he can do. So he could do, I think he could pull off Captain Jack Sparrow. I think it'd be funny.
Like I said, I would put Tom in this Sherlock Holmes because he's already done it. Let's see. What else?
Do you have another one? Because, I mean, that's already been done. Like, let's...
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of another one. I was just trying to fill time by repeating yours. I would put Colin Baker in anybody else's costume in the universe.
Just out of the
add the multicolor into
anybody.
No, not anybody.
Anybody?
No,
So you wouldn't mind? Okay, so you wouldn't mind?
I retract
wait,
that before
you wouldn't.
Get there.
You wouldn't mind Colin Baker in Sean Connery's outfit in Zardoz?
That would work for me.
That would. Oh God! Oh Lord! Seriously,
Years
seriously.
ago, not now. Maybe back then, not now. No, not now.
Opened up a can of worms. Somebody online is probably going to post that on our page now. They're going to put Baker's head on the Sean Connery.
So, Christian, what about you? What about you, Christian? What about you?
It's going to sound weird, and you've probably seen pictures in DeviantArt and stuff like that, but I would actually like to see what other doctors would look like in their other outfits.
Oh.
Like, how would everybody look in the Sixth Doctor's outfit?
The one that we just crucified just a second ago. Yeah.
I mean, how would the First Doctor look like in the Ninth Doctor's outfit? How would Tom Baker look in the Fifth Doctor's outfit? I would love to see just like a random. Wouldn't it be cool if Peter Capaldi is walking around, all of a sudden something happens, or he sneezes or something, and then boom, he's in, the Third Doctor's outfit all of a sudden. Can't explain why. I just thought that would be a cool idea.
I think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
I think he could pull it off. I think he could probably pull off the Third Doctor's outfit, the Ninth Doctor's outfit, Ten's outfit. Maybe even the second.
I was going to say, what if he just boom, and then all of a sudden he had the Seventh Doctor's outfit on, just some weird, just to see what other people. And we've seen pictures. I think one was going around Matt Smith if he was in the Sixth Doctor's outfit.
Yeah,
I think I did see one of Six in the Ninth Doctor's outfit. This was based off a comment that he had made that he wanted when he saw the Ninth Doctor's outfit. He was like, "Oh, that's what I wanted to wear."
Yeah, he wanted black velvet. He wanted to be all in black, but John Nathan Turner didn't want him to be a flip version of the Master, who was also in black. Yeah. So they went the other way and just went, "Oh, look, let's just take all the paints that were rejected by Crayola and shoot them out. Everything not found in nature, put it on there."
Mr. Pollock, Mr. Jackson Pollock, would you like to design a costume for us?
There.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today's Mark Who 42's WHOniverse. Mark Baumgarten, and of course with me are
Patricia Helm
and Eduardo-m-Freyre, the great curator. Yeah, I wish. But yeah, and hey, just one final note from me. Next week, Animate, on the evening of the 18th, I'm going to be hosting a panel. In fact, Christian, I'm putting this on the Skype private messaging. I'm putting the link. If you could click on it and read the title. I think you're the best one to read the title of the panel.
Hi, Doctor Who's 50th Fallout and Peter Faculties 2.
Yeah, now that the 50th anniversary and Christmas episodes have been played out, what's next? Ed will be hosting a discussion on the aftermath of the two biggest episodes in years, and he'll delve into just how the Peter Capaldi will fit into the future of the show.
Yep, and yeah, it's going to be me and a couple of panelists, some friends of mine. Right now, scheduled, we have internet blogger Julian Perez, who runs Julian Perez Conquers the Universe. And we'll also have someone who's been a guest of SuperCon before, comedian and filmmaker Aaron Pabon.
Cool.
He'll be my other panelist. But yeah, those are the two people we have scheduled. working to see if maybe we could get a third in there, but so far it's going to be me and the two other guys. But yeah, it should be fun.
And that'll be 10:30 at night on Saturday at Animate.
Yep. So who knows? Who knows? Since it's so late, I don't know. Maybe we might have a little bit more fun than we usually do. So yeah. I don't know. You'll have to come to the panel and find out.
I'm on this anime thing. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Christian Basel, of course.
Oh, we gonna end the show or what? I really gotta pee, man.
All right, Christian.
Throw the man a bone, and then this is what he does.
Bone? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
All your friends are dead, aren't they, Mr. Capaldi?
We want the Scots. We want the Scots as the doctor, and this is what we get.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anybody needs to help me at the pub.
Folks, go to our Facebook page, Mark-Who42's WHOniverse. Tweet us at Mark-Who42. Write us at mark@mark-who42.com. Go to World of Who. Go to florida-geek-scene.com. Go to geekcast-radio.com. We are everywhere around the net in the WHOniverse. We are everywhere in the WHOniverse. Bane is here. Peter Capaldi is here. We're all here. And we'll see you, or you'll listen to us next time on Mark-Who42's WHOniverse. Bye.
Hey, what do you mean tweet us? You got birds coming all over here. I don't like that. Birds poop. I don't really like that here. No tweeting. No, sorry. Are we done yet? I really gotta pee.
We've been done for a while ago. You've just been sitting there staring at the screensaver on the computer. God, you need to go to the doctor. Tell him that your mind is going.
Bye, everyone.
Talking about? I am the doctor.
Talk to you next time.
And you wish you were a doctor.
Mark-Who42's WHOniverse has been written and presented by Mark Baumgarten, Patricia Helm, Eduardo-m-Freyre, and Christian Basel, with our special guest, Danny Figueras, the Enabler. This show is edited, produced, and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Please remember to rate us and listen to us on iTunes and the Stitcher Radio app, and comment on our broadcast at geekcast-radio.com, florida-geek-scene.com, and worldofwho.com. Tweet us at Mark-Who42 and check out our Facebook page, Mark-Who42's WHOniverse.
Mark-Who42 WHOniverse.
We can be contacted by email at mark@mark-who42.com with the subject line question mark. Doctor Who and his properties are owned by the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. This podcast is streaming from mark-who42.com. This podcast is owned and copyrighted by Mark Baumgarten, 2014.